And it says I am live. So, I was sitting here in my screened-in area around my pool, and I'm just going to stop the video from playing on my Chromebook that I have sitting out here. So I want to say hi to Night Custom Bills, hi to Cal. Cal, I'll get to your question in a moment. I see it's written down. Uh, so what am I doing? Why am I here? And just kind of a friendly update I do every once in a while, just saying hi to the folks and telling them what's going on. I rarely, or I don't do a whole lot of lives on my own channel, which maybe that's the wrong. Don't do a lot of solo lives where it's just me talking. So first off, I just I saw something by actually there's a couple of Casey's I watch on YouTube. Casey Neistat, which and who's the other guy? Dan, the brew guy. Which they both haven't been posting a lot lately. But Casey Putsch posted something, and so a year ago I was 6 months out of work, and I was carrying like a crazy amount of debt. Um, for like 8 years because when I bought this house like 8 years ago, and there's a reason. I'm not sure which way I'm pointing. The tiki hut without a tiki roof is in the background. So hey MC, how's it going, man? Uh, so where I was a year ago. My dad passed in December, a little over a year ago before Christmas. Probably a year before that, my bird passed that I had for 25 years. My bird was my best friend. So that was pretty damn rough. Hey, Joe, Johnny B, how's it going, man? Good beam. I it was. I'm hoping. Let's praise God. I'm hoping a year, 2 years ago was the worst 3 years of my life. So went through a lot of bad stuff, lot a stink load of bad stuff. Now I don't ever want to compare my misfortune to anybody else's. I'm just telling you where I was a year ago, where things are now. Um, you know, I virtually have all of my debt paid off. I've been a year at this job that's really good. I've got a verbal handshake on this 1 year contract I've been on that's going to be wrapping up. That I'm going to get a renewal for 6 months. So please make that happen. Let's see what's happened since. So, like I said, I've been working for a year at a very good job, very good rate, which is stink awesome. Wow, I think it was a year ago. My wife and daughter were both Jewish. Now they're both Christian. So my daughter converted, and my wife converted. My wife and I got baptized in December, I think. So, or, and what type of work? So I do cloud engineering, and so yeah, we've been through a whole lot. If you ever look at somebody on YouTube and you think their stuff's all together, that they're kicking ass, that they have some glamorous lifestyle, oh, everybody has one of these. Everybody has something that's fallen apart in their life, no matter how good it looks online on YouTube. And I'm talking to the people out there that got crap going on. I So one of the things that I think is super important is that, Dark always says be kind. And I think the big message on that is because everybody's fighting a battle you know nothing about. Now, I'm not here telling you, my life sucks or anything like that. Kind of the opposite. I mean, we all still have issues. Uh, for once in my life, I haven't had to worry about things financially. Uh, don't get me wrong, house needs stuff or the wife needs stuff for the house. We there's improvements we want to do or fixing up stuff. But I'm not worried about paying the mortgage. I'm not worried about the phone bill, the electric bill, all that things. Doesn't mean we still don't have problems. It means, financially, that's not one of them. I'm finally out of that massive amount of debt that I was carrying for 8 years. So that big burden, if whatever you can do in life to not go through a massive amount of debt, do it. Do it. Avoid the debt if you can. Um, my situation kind of snowballed out of control because I bought this house while I was still consulting. I never wanted to buy a house in Florida until I had a full-time job, but I was consulting for 10 years and was doing really good at it. Almost never had an employment gap, an unplanned employment gap in 10 years. So like I got a 10-year track history, found a house I liked, pulled the trigger on it, bought it. Now it was a very good move because I bought at the bottom of the market. The house is like 465 when I bought it, and it's probably doubled. So, and again, the market's going to crash. I know it's going to crash. So, and again, I'm not here bragging. Please, please, never. That's why I got that in the background, just to remind you. We all got one of them in our lives. So just saying, if things are looking bad to you, keep struggling, keep have faith, keep working hard on it. My wife and I, we go to church for like 3 hours every Sunday. So we go to church and then Bible study afterwards. And it's brought us closer. We often talk about we're listening to. I'm a very good audiobook person and like YouTube, like video learning and audio learning person. So we both listen to the Daily Audio Bible and we talk about it and talk about God, Jesus, religion, religious rules, sin, etc. Um, and my wife's dove in pretty hard. So we go to church in the morning and then there's a Bible study afterwards. It's an informal Bible study, and then she goes to a women's Bible study on Wednesday. So she's dove in pretty good, and it's been good for all of us. Let's see. Goonbeam is renting. Oh, renting in Broward is way too expensive, dude. Yeah, so I sold the house in New York, so that's a big blessing on me. I had such issues with selling the house in New York because my great grandfather built the house 100 plus years ago. It's always been in the family, and I kicked that to the curb. Now, I was never going to want to live in Islip, New York again, so I was never going to want to live in that house. Uh, I love it here in Florida. I just love it. Um, Ideally, I would take the money from the house, buy like an investment rental property down here, but right now we're peak market, so I'd rather preserve that financially somehow. And again, don't want to piss it all away. And boy, please don't ever, I'll get kicked in the head by life. Please don't ever think that I'm bragging. This is the first time like this Christmas where it wasn't my wife and I agreeing not to get each other something and getting our daughter a thing. So big deal. Things it's a big blessing, and I'm very appreciative of it. Let's see. NC Shooter, how's it going? He says, it sounds like my wife, due to my job, I work a lot. Sundays, I'm unable to attend with her. Wow. Okay, so sounds like my wife, I guess, with the whole church and religion thing. Hey, Ron Wayne, how's it going? How's it going? Up in the top, like the first comment, I did drop a link to this. So I'm doing this on StreamYard, and let's see, can I just copy? No, I can't just copy the StreamYard link. Let me just see. Darn it. Anyhow, if somebody, I don't think you can copy and paste. Hold on, hold on. I know what to do. Give me a second here. So one, I'm out here saying, work your tail off, things will get better. Two, always have hope, always turn to God. It, for those of you that don't know, and it'd be a miracle if you don't, because the jokes have slid back a little bit on the priority scale. I've walked away from 2 plane crashes. If you ever look at the video, there's a video on my channel here. There's an airplane aviation playlist. The first plane crash would have killed anyone, and I got up and out of that wreck and looked back, and I was like, "Holy cow!" So sometimes I have a crisis of faith, and I look back at how I've been delivered from probably death and horrible mutilation accidents, and sometimes worry about the lack of faith that I have. And I don't know. Hmm, I get choked up really easy. That's why I don't like talking about this stuff, and that's why I'll probably only leave the video on here for like 3 days, like 72 hours. So typically these videos, after 72 hours, don't get any traction. So I usually delete them after that. And no, that's not what I wanted here. So, um, yeah, if you ever want to talk about faith and stuff, look at my aviation playlist in the first plane crash, where the wings are like folded up over it, the whole shooting match. So that's a whole nother story. But hey, and thanks for the thumbs up. I definitely appreciate all of you for coming out and spending some time here. Hey, Krabby Turtle, how's it going? Let's see. Rifleman, how you doing? Can we call you Mr. Borrowed? Yeah, yep, yep. Well, yeah, I mean they're story rich. We got out here. Yeah, and it, oh God, it's beautiful out. So my wife went out to do her nails. She started doing taxes. She wants me to help her with taxes when it's beautiful like this. I mean, it's like 85 degrees. I didn't realize how warm it was going to be. I was wearing long sleeves at church today, and definitely not long pants weather. That's why I originally set up over. We got like a outdoor dining room table out here by the grill, and plus I wouldn't be able to see the screen because without some awning over me. Um, I want to roll back. Caleb asked me a PHP question. Guys, feel free to ask me anything if you want to jump in. Did I post the link? Looking to do a project with Angry Sarge. There's a bit I do not understand. He made a comment that you might know. Dude, hit me up. So my email, hey Misty, how's it going? So hit me up at rich@flyingrich.com or orders@flyingrich.com, and we'll talk. So let's see. Yeah, I did drop the StreamYard link, so if anybody wants to join, and oh yeah, I got to look at that screen for people that want to join. My buddy Joe, who's got a day off today, he posted a video. I just saw it real quick, like without my glasses, so it was tough reading. That he went to SDI and all he does is this, which is like brushing out a bore. So yeah, look, we all got stuff going on. Dark actually, so somebody asked me earlier about Dark. Dark didn't do a show last night. It's funny. There's people you call all hours of the day and night, and Dark and I do that. So I didn't call him, but I texted him. And I don't know if it was like 12:30, 1 o'clock last night. I texted him, then he texted me back 1:30. I was fast asleep. So he said he fell asleep with the little one. I just picture him curled up on the couch with his daughter or something like that. But yeah, so if you didn't see a DLD After Dark stream last night, that's because he had his daughter this weekend. So I gotta say, we're very blessed. Shooting Gallery New England's a good friend of mine. We share a lot together. Dark, it's awful. We're like chatty Cathy's. We talk a stupid amount of times a day, which for men it's probably embarrassing. Crumpy too, a lot of great people out there, and I definitely appreciate it. Same thing, Ron Wayne, Misty. You guys are always great. Oh, Night Custom Builds. I got a dozen P80, 2 Lone Wolf. Guys are woo! Yeah, I got a lot of projects, and so a friend of mine, I don't want to say who because he didn't authorize me to say. He kind of declared bankruptcy, not bankruptcy in the uh, legal financial sense. He declared basically he wants to like get rid of everything, downsize, like tighten the scope on things, and I do appreciate that. I've often joked that I would live, because I'm a car guy also. Not that I really car guy it up, but I've made the joke historically. Jose Romero, how's it going? That I would live in a three-car garage with an outhouse. But my friend is the Huff. Hey, my friend, is the Huffman Super Lower printed with 100? I do not know. I do not know the settings on that. I'd say hit up Hoffman. Definitely a project I'd like to do. So, all right, let me talk about projects. I have actually I've got a Geisler I haven't done, which I'd love to do. It, thanks, thanks, Ron. Don't make me choke up. Uh, yeah, so probably like comedians all have something horribly wrong with them, and that's why they're funny because they're hiding what's deep within them that would make them choke up. That's why I try not to talk too deep because I get choked up. So, um, and and let me just say, I really appreciate all of you because if it wasn't for you guys, well, one, the friendship, the people that I'm close with, you're the best. And you guys watching the videos. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't get to do cool stuff. So I meet cool people, do cool things. Totally appreciate it. What Snoring Rich saying? The concept that chatting with other male friends for long periods of time isn't masculine is the exact opposite. Oh, okay. Um, I've got the org project running. I've tamed the 3D printing demons of carbon fiber nylon with the help of a bunch of people. Kron finally set me straight. Marconi Armory, how's it going, man? Uh, so Kron set me straight. Basically, contractor's trash bag over the printer. That was it. So I'm heating the filament to 70 degrees C. And Story Rich says he doesn't always make smart ass comments. I probably could just go like that and show you the comments that I'm reading. Uh, but then that'd mean I'd have to lean forward. So, um, so I got the AUG running. I'm actually right now printing parts for an enclosure for the Bamboo P1P. Dude, I don't think I've used my Ender 3 since I got the P1P. So I now have four operational printers. I do have a fifth, two Ender 3s, an Ender 7, which is a Core XY. But I think that needs better slicer software because it's definitely not doing the speed of the P1P or anything close to it. Or so, and the Bamboo P1P, boy, that is a workhorse, and it prints twice as fast as the Ender 7. So I was going to print parts. That's a whole fail story. So overnight I was printing a big, highly populated build plate with a lot of pieces on it for the case, the enclosure for the Bamboo on the Ender 7. I get up in the morning, have my coffee, I look, the print's perfect. It's like 90 something. There's only that much layer height to go. It released from the bed and started sliding around. So 20 hours worth of printing and a half kilogram of filament, like $10 worth of filament or 15 bucks. God. And carbon fiber nylon, I'm printing the largest portion of the AUG's three-piece receiver. And the carbon fiber nylon like had a 90-degree bend. So on the spool, it released, but then it got to the Bowden tube that goes in, and it hung up because the resume feature. So if it runs out of filament, you can always put new filament in the Bambu P1P. It knows to stop. It waits. It notifies you. You put the new filament in. Boom! It runs. It's like perfect. But because so it released from the spool, but it got that 90-degree bend. See, I'm doing that. I shouldn't be doing that. But that 90-degree bend going into the Bowden tube just so I had this much to go on like an 8-hour print and it failed. So what I'm going to be doing is a lot of the failed prints that I can't learn anything else from, I throw away. This I want to see what it's like squeezing into vice grips and what the strength is. So that's why I'm keeping this piece. Uh, Ron Wayne feels like he needs to build something. So all right, I got the AUG project and I have multiple AUGs. I did come into some more uh, Glock parts, so I'm going to be finished. I have more parts to finish up some Glock builds. I bought 4 of those. It looked like Strike Industries, or is it Strike? Yeah, Strike Industries grips that were serialized. So I actually picked them up. I used Hank Strange as my FFL. So last time I was there, I had them shipped to him from Brownells and picked them up there. Uh, so MC says I'm holding out for a 316 SS 3D printer. I'm assuming 316 stainless steel. SCT frame. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the SCT frames are like super nice. And so let's see, they got the rails in them. So you just got to put the lower parts kit in and a slide and you're set. One car fast. How's it going, man? So yeah, wow. I got AUGs going. I ordered barrels. So I ordered barrels for me and Walter Keller, from Safety Harbor Firearms. He does the SHTF 50, so bolt action 50 cal. So if you check out Walter, he's got cool stuff. So Safety Harbor Firearms. Uh, so Walter bought some AUG parts kits. Uh, I ordered barrels for him and me, so that's going to be coming in hopefully in a couple of weeks. So that'll be stupid cool if we can get these things completed. I'm going to be very excited about that. The Glock bullpup G34 bullpup I tore down, haven't put it back together yet, but I want to reprint it in carbon fiber nylon, so that would be stupid cool. I think that might be the winning formula. Plus the P1P, like the quality of the prints, so the accuracy, the dimensionality, and the fit will be like amazing. So I'm stupid excited about getting that done. What other projects? So, along with, or in one of the things, I don't know if I can name names on this, but there's the potential we might be doing not we, I have nothing to do with it. Somebody in the beta group might be working on a 300 blackout AUG, which means there's some interesting parts. Things have to be modified to make that work. Not a lot, really one thing. Anyhow, so 300 blackout barrel and something else. So I don't know if I'm at liberty to talk about it, so I won't because I make that mistake all the time. And so AUG, Glock, G34 bullpup, the Geisler I haven't done yet, which is stupid of me. I got the parts, I ought to just finish it. Hey Rich, give me a call after I got news. What? Cool. Yay. I'm not gonna say because Rich going shoot a cable. Oh jeez. Yeah, so that for those of you that don't know, I was going to shoot. So I went on Matt Hoover's channel and we had like a 3-hour conversation. And I told everybody if I hit 3,000 subs, I was going to shoot the AK in the pool, which I got to fix the pool robot. I probably ought to do the pool stuff today because it's nice and warm out. I clean the filter, clean the chlorine generator, all that kind of crap. So yeah, one of the things I was going to do is shoot the AK in the pool. So I got to do that. So I was thinking a 300 blackout Steyr AUG with a can would in subsonic rounds be like the perfect home PDW. Gotta throw a weapon light on it. I guess I gotta print it anyhow. Whoa. So what else do I got in the works? Oh yeah, I bought MP5 flats. I don't know why, but I bought them. I actually have 3 parts kits and 2 flats for the Setme. I did print jigs. I was thinking about reprinting them in carbon fiber. So I might have to take a day or two and spend it with Walter, or maybe I have to buy my own press to bend the jigs and weld them up. But I I probably ought to get on the phone with Patrick Babyface P and figure out what he does and how he, because I think he did a Setme build, and I got to catch up on his channel. So Patrick's channel has been gone and back. Oh, and I haven't even talked. So there's subscribe links in the bottom. So one is for this channel, the other is for Flying Rich Firearms. So YouTube went through a bit of an apocalypse of apparently. So I've never worked Silicon Valley. I do cloud engineering, and I've worked for corporations where they need to make money and they need to make money reliably and they don't risk anything. But John Crump has worked Silicon Valley, and so Snoring Rich says 8mm Kurtz would be interested in the AUG. Yeah, there's all sorts of issues with that, being that I don't know the dimensions. And Angry Sarge, how's it going, man? So, where was I? Oh, somebody tell me where I left off. Because I said I was going to get distracted by the 8mm Kurtz in my mind, but then I got distracted. So, yeah. Was I on the Setme build? So, yeah, I want to get the Setme done. That just looks cool because it's a little out of my wheelhouse as far as knowledge. You know, ARs, Glocks, that's pretty simple. Steyr AUG, there's a lot of moving parts on that, meaning, uh, so the Steyr AUG project, if you're not familiar with it, it's called Nylaug, Nylaug. If you Google it, you'll probably see some stuff. And when you buy a parts kit, whether it's a Setme parts kit or an AUG parts kit, typically it's a military grade firearm, meaning fully automatic. And you get a receiver or no receiver. If you get a receiver, it's been sawed a couple of times, so you can't ever use the receiver again. And oh, I know where he's going. So we're 3D printing the AUG receiver, but then we have to put defeats in it, so it can't be made fully automatic again. So there's things on the trigger pack, things in the stock that just the way the AUG is put together. So the AUG isn't. I don't want to. Triggers always baffle me. I really need to spend like a day learning about triggers. Uh, so the trigger pack in the AUG or PS90 or FN FS2000 are nearly identical. So interesting setup, that trigger. But and I'm not going to explain it. So where I was going, Flying Rich Firearms. So this is Flying Rich Firearms is my other channel, which is growing very rapidly. I really appreciate that. We're like less than 700 subs right now, so I got to get to 1,000 subs for it to be monetized, and I'm at like 3,500 hours, which is wow. Like the one video I did so I pulled like 900 videos, 300, I don't know, stupid number of videos off this channel because I did things or may have said things that would violate YouTube's rules. So the reason I did that is if you put a 30 round mag into a firearm, you could get a strike for that. And I'm sure I've done that a bunch of times. So I went through one Sunday morning, spent 3 hours deleting, I think 900 videos, 3 million views off my channel, which is devastating. Like if you look at Social Blade, that really hurt me. I went from like, I don't know, a B+ channel to like a D- or so. It's pretty bad. Um, Started the firearms channel because I plan on doing firearms things there. Marine gun builder Kenny has advised me that I have this one video where it's a folding AR at a gun show. Just for whatever reason, the algorithm loves it, and I threw that on the channel. I got the bulk of my subs off that, getting the bulk of my watch hours, minutes, and all that bit. Until that video really flatlines, I'm not going to put another video on that channel because Kenny advised me that while the algorithm is loving that video, don't do anything to mess with it. Like I changed the comments, the description on it, and that seemed to mess with it. I changed it back. So I'm gonna let that run its course. Then I'm gonna push some more videos there. I'm gonna take my old catalog and start putting it on there. So all of my videos aren't lost that I deleted because they're on other video sharing sites. So yeah, going back to I started saying I've worked corporate America. John Crump's worked Silicon Valley, even though he's in Virginia. And in corporate America, it's you got to be stupid safe about everything because you don't want to break anything. You don't want to have information leakage. None of that. In Silicon Valley, the modus operandi is go fast, break things. And part of the go fast break things is apparently they put an AI out because the amount of videos that get uploaded to Google, YouTube, they can't watch them all. So what they do is they have an AI grade them. Well, the AI went nutso handing out strikes to GunTube channels, and apparently uh, went car fast, which is highly annoying. So that's another thing I'd like to talk about. So a lot of people lost their channels, ended up getting them back. Babyface P like ping ponged back and forth a couple of times. He lost it, got it back, lost it, got it back, lost it. Uh, People will say like, you're kissing YouTube's butt, and what I've said to people is, wow, sandwich chef of sandwich, how's it going, man? Wow, thanks, Internet Roomba. I'm not sure what that means, but um, I do have a Roomba clone that I enjoy. So Uh, I think it's more important that my voice, Crump's voice, Dark's voice, any of our voices, Ron, Joe, Angry Sarge, that we're here and communicating and reaching the people. It's not so much important that we talk to each other in the community. It's the people that are new to the community that hear our voices that it's important to. And being that 90+% or probably 99% of the videos get watched on YouTube, it's important that we're here, which means then we got to play by their rules. Now, hey, my content is out on other video sites. I'm going to be doing gun content on Flying Ridge Firearms. Apparently now they've tamed the beast of the AI at YouTube, so you can insert a 30 round mag into a firearm without getting a strike. People are getting strikes for screwing on suppressors. I think that's gone. I think that's okay now. Um, so I used to have, if I didn't post at all, I'd have, I don't know, 1,000 views a day on my channel. Right now, I have, it'll drop down to like 200, 250 views a day on YouTube. So to supplement that, I'm doing the highly annoying videos, which it it's half a joke and half hurtful to me. So, do you hear that? That's a red-tailed hawk. So since I moved here 8 years ago, oh, there it goes. There's a female red-tailed hawk. I can't tell if that's the female. Uh, a male red-tailed hawk has the end tail feathers are red. The female, not so much. So, yeah, until I get my ass in gear, I'm going to be pumping up my watch hours, watch minutes, views on this channel with the highly annoying videos because it seems like the algorithm loves it. I'll get anywhere from 1,300 to 5,000 views on one of those videos. And I apologize to the people if you're annoyed with that. I'm annoyed with it. Dark's annoyed with it. But I'm doing it to keep the channel viable until I get more content on it. And so I don't know how many of you actually get notifications when those shorts come up, but I get subs, I get views, I get watch hours. The other part of the game is people don't want to give you product to review unless you have good numbers on your channel. And so I took a major hit with losing all of those videos, so the watch hours that I had, etc. So this year, I'm still not good at this, but I'm still working on it, is I'm looking to make my endeavors in YouTube a little bit more profitable, which means affiliate links. So it doesn't cost you anything, but then like you go to PSA and buy something, and once you click through my link, or Amazon after you click through my link, I get a little bit of a cut. I'm an IT consultant, so I got a handshake agreement on a 6-month extension to my contract, which may mean it's a slam dunk. But there's no ink on the contract right now, so that's kind of like nail biter. So yeah, that's the highly annoying videos. Mags and suppressors were dumb to begin with. So Angry Sarge, yeah, we're so YouTube was claiming it was modifying a firearm, throwing a 30 round mag in any kind of firearm, whether it came with only a 10 round mag, is not modifying a firearm. Screwing a muzzle device on of any kind, whether it's a suppressor or not, is not modifying a firearm. At least I'm gonna say it's not. So let's see. I'm just scrolling back through the comments here. So Ron Wayne says, loving the Stoeger STR9C, and thanks Shooting Gallery New England for the video. So that's the scoop. If you guys, I mean, hey, this part Ask Me Anything. So if you got any kind of questions or anything like that, happy to answer them and talk to you about what's going on. Skynet is becoming self-aware. So yeah, if you haven't seen anything about ChatGPT is pretty cool. Midjourney is pretty cool. Flying Rich Firearms, I made the banner art with Midjourney, and I used the F out of it, so I would have to pony up some money and pay for it. So there's a lot of things I'd like to pay for. Midjourney would be one of them because I have some fun generating graphics with it. ChatGPT, I think there is pay versions of that, but so far I haven't hit a firewall for it. So that's kind of cool. What's the future of the Tiki Hut? My wife hates the Tiki Hut, wants it torn down. I'd like to maybe get a green metal roof for it because I'm sick of the thatched type thing. So now here's like there's a whole bunch of puzzle pieces that go together. So I now have money to build a man cave, but um I'm thinking I want a whole house generator. I want to build a man cave, and I need to set up a range. So I probably need to do some planning on the property here. So in Florida, if you have an acre or greater, which I have 1.25 acres, you can have a range on your property so the two requirements in Florida. One, acre or greater. Two, the rounds cannot leave your property. So if you shoot into the dirt or you have backstop, then you can shoot. It's really, 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 really beneficial when you're building firearms to get something set up or make an adjustment on it, being able to walk out into the backyard, go to pop a few rounds. And the other part, cool neighbors, like the short AR-15, the 14.5-inch AR-15, now that's from barrel to buffer tube. That thing is loud AF. I mean, it's as loud as a 50 cal. Walter Keller of Safety Harbor Firearms said it's as loud as a 50 cal. I text my neighbor behind me. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be shooting a really loud gun. You know, in valid replies from him, it's like, hey, man, I got a conference call. I got people over. Could you do it tomorrow? All reasonable, and I would do it. He's like, enjoy. So cool effing neighbors. I know, like, so this guy's a gun guy, that guy's a gun guy. I actually haven't met that neighbor. I'm not so sure about that one. And the people across the street, I don't know. But everybody's nice. I'm very happy with. So I live in Palm Beach, Florida, in Jupiter. You guys need to get PSA guys. Yeah. So I probably should make that call to PSA, get them on this week. I saw them at SHOT Show, talked to them. They said, hey, after, mid-February, I guess after the Great American Outdoors Show, Josiah said he would come on. So I got to get Josiah on. Um, we're probably working on Kyle Rittenhouse. We had and guys, so they need to make more electric vehicles that can do V2H. Then you would have a week of power. Oh, vehicle to house, I guess. Yeah, yeah. My wife is like crazy, crazy, crazy against Teslas. Like, so before I get into that, if you guys are late joining the show, there's a reason the Tiki Hut's here. The reason the Tiki Hut's here is to say, hey, it might look on YouTube we're all yucking it up, having a good time. No matter how good anybody's life is, they still got something like that in their life. And that's a metaphor. It's symbolic of crap that ain't right. So don't ever look at somebody on YouTube and idolize them. And probably I'll tell an interesting story. I used to do wedding photography in New York, and I met Baba Booey's brother. So Gary Delabate from the Howard Stern show. I met his brother. His brother was a limo driver. I was doing wedding photography. He was telling me who his brother was. I'm like, oh my God, that's cool. I bet you meet all sorts of cool people. That's exciting. He's like, yeah, I don't want to meet anymore. And I'm like, what? He's like, well, you meet them and you find out somebody loved all of their movies or something like that, and you meet them in person and they're a jerk. So uh, the saying is, what is it? Be You don't want to meet your heroes, if I get that right. So one car fast always asks about a C8Z06. First off, I'm not sure how much they cost, and if I got divorced, I probably could afford one. No, I couldn't afford one if I got divorced then. If I, all right, so let me bring up a picture of my airplane. Um, I have not, because I landed on a highway in emergency landing, so um I have not flown my airplane over 10 years because it's in pieces. I've flown other aircraft, but not my own. I did get my biannual um, flight review. And so this, can you see it? Let's see, glare, glare, glare. Yeah, that's my airplane. It's what they call a nose dragger. Engines in the back. It's a three-person cozy. That is my actual airplane at the Oshkosh Air Show, Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I gotta get the engine built. The engine's not quite half built. I've got to get things assembled and plumbed, so there's some electrical, etc., that has to be done. It's gonna need paint, so it's gonna need some money to fix, and I do now have the money. So could I buy a a Z06? I would love. I mean, Corvette Z06. There's a couple of cars I like. I do like the idea is that, oh my gosh, Goonbeam says just LS swap the Genesis. No, no, no. First off, the Genesis is almost as heavy as a Corvette, so there's zero pluses to that. And I did finally wax the Genesis. I got a whole lengthy process on how to clean a car if you want to talk about it. Um, what I would a toy, one of the fantasy, window shopping toys is I would like to, and Rifleman is correct, Burt Rutan design. So yeah, actually Nat Puffer who passed, Nat could be a bit of a jerk and maybe I'm rude to talk ill of the deceased, but there's all sorts of baggage and story back there. But um yeah, I have the 3.8 liter Genesis coupe. So all right, I'll tell you the Genesis coupe purchase story. First off, I've never bought a new car in my life until I got married. When I got married, I don't even know what year it was. It was a Celica, Toyota Celica. I don't remember what year it was. So I got married in 2007. So it was probably 10 years old when I got married. So, um, then when I got married, I got the Envoy. I still have the Envoy. So I bought it with like 15,000 miles on it, 2007 Envoy. Um, Great car. Uh, I was working in New York. I was working like two contracts, pulling down good money. I was down here for Christmas. This is before we owned this house. I've been kind of kick on the doors, window shopping Genesis coupes. And earlier, let's see, my first Genesis coupe was in 2013. So early 2013, went to the dealer in Palm Beach, drove the 2-liter turbo 6 speed, brought it back. I used to be in the Porsche Club in New York. I've driven Bridgehampton, Watkins Glen, and Lime Rock. Bridgehampton is now a golf course. Beautiful, fun track. Great. There's so many great things about that track. I brought the car back, thinking of tire, clutch, and brake, and was like ready to sign and buy the car. And I think, I don't know, if the 2-liter turbo is 270 horsepower, something like that. They're like, well, you think that's good? There's a 3.8 liter. They lost the sale right there. I'm like, 348 horsepower, 3.8 liter? Where is it? Where is it? They're like, oh, we don't have it. So it was kind of scarce. And I don't want to say the car is rare, making it sound exotic. I just think it was rare because nobody knew about it. The actual Genesis Coupe 3.8 liter was designed to be better than the Infiniti G37. And so I had driven the G37 four-door, loved the car, and was really interested in the coupe. And then I found out the 3.8 liter was designed to be better than the Infiniti in every way. And the Infiniti was like twice as much. So the first car, I thought my wife was going to be the bad cop. I didn't work with her on this beforehand, but Christmas Eve 2013, we walked through the dealer's door and she says, sell him a car. And I'm like, so I was down here for like Christmas, New Year's break from contracting in New York. I was like living at my house in New York at the time. So we spent like 4 hours negotiating on the price and like another 2 hours negotiating on the interest rate. And then one of the periods I was out of work after I think it was after I bought the house here. I was out of work and I got another Genesis Coupe, a 2015 Genesis Coupe. I've never done anything like that before. The Genesis Coupe, the 2015 is visually identical. Some people say they can tell the difference. I don't know what they are. But there were a lot of things that they did better, but the fit and finish, the body panel gaps was worse. It was a lot worse. Anyhow, they brought me into the showroom by saying, hey, what if we get you a newer car at a lower monthly rate? And I'm like, and skip 2 months worth of payments. I was out of work. I needed to do something with my finances. I ended up paying more, but so I had a black 2013 3.8 6-speed. I now have a Empire State Gray 2015 6-speed manual. So, Snoring Rich says, my 2014 R-Spec Genesis Coupe just got a rod knock at 38K miles. Yikes! Yikes! So, it's easier to get high horsepower out of the 2.4 turbo. You get like 500 wheel horsepower out of the damn thing. Car wise, I mean, I'll talk about cars if you tell me, like, put a 1 in the chat if you want to hear about cars and things I like about cars. So yeah, I had a 924 turbo from 1980 with the M471 suspension. So basically, I had the 928 wheels and brakes, and rare car but not valuable, which I sent to the junkyard. Kind of wish I had it now because it'd probably be worth something. So driven in the Porsche Club, lots of fun. Did autocross and different racetracks with them, so I had a good time with that. Um, the new Corvette is very interesting. The Z06 is even more so interesting. Normally aspirated 600 and was it 570, 670, whatever. Stupid amount of horsepower, 620. It's more than a 10-cylinder Audi R8. The V10 Plus is like 620 horsepower. Tell me if it's right. The Z06 is 670 horsepower, naturally aspirated, like 8,500 RPM red line, so V8 flat plane crank, crazy stuff. They now add electric front wheel drive to the old engined car. Soon, they're probably going to do the Z06 with electric front wheel drive also to give it another 100 and change or 200 extra horsepower. So let's see. A chat full of guys, and you're asking you want to hear about cars. So what BV Lumina say? Just buy a really nice truck body, spend the money on building a Cummins engine, and get a good transmission that holds more power than you make. Right. So I've been joking for a long time. I want to get an International Harvester pickup truck, diesel with an air starter, so there's nothing electrical in the damn thing, so it can ride out the apocalypse on fryer oil. I love the Corvette in either of the C8s is really interesting. Apparently, there's like you got to be on some sort of list to get the Z06, and then they're going for a stupid amount of money over list. Tough justifying that. So one, I want to get my airplane finished. I figure I can make some good content with that. I can fly to different gun guys and do some fun stuff. One of the things I've always wanted to do in the airplane is like how many gun guys can I visit in a weekend with the 50 cal and shoot the 50 cal with? So got to be a whole lot of coordination to get that done. But I think that could be a fun video. It kind of crosses a couple of genres here. So car wise, I'm gonna keep the Genesis Coupe stock. I would love to mod a 2.4 liter turbo Genesis. That would be stupid fun. Don't know enough about the engine, like what to do to beef it up to get into that 500-600 horsepower range. Corvette is something I lost for, but probably will not get. Now here's the thing: the rule of thumb, just from my analysis, and I may be wrong, in the car business is first year they come out with a car, it's one thing, and then the next trim levels up are more money. But the second year that car comes out, they have the second model year of that car, they include the upgraded trim level in the base model. Now, Corvette's done the C8, the Z06, electric C8, or electric front wheel drive on the C8. They've dude. All right, let me hit you on the airplane miles per gallon in a minute. They're probably going to be doing an electric front drive Z06 in the future, and then the older models will drop in price. Something like that. One, I don't need it. Two, I don't have a garage for it, which cooking my Genesis has been cooked in the Florida sun its whole life, which kind of sucks. Something like a C8, I'd really want in the garage. I'd love to have the Z06. I'd love to have an electric Z06. I've said to, like Hank Strange talking about cars, I'd love to get maybe a 2022, 2023, 2024. That's in 2 years. In other words, in 2026 by a 2024. Because then you hit the devaluation curve. So what's always happened with airplanes is now happening with cars. Airplanes drop in value tremendously. So let's just take a Cessna 172. In 1965, I think it might have been 55. It was brand new. It was $2,000 or $3,000 back then. $2,000 or $3,000 was a lot of money. A Cessna 172 today, 2023, I believe, is $200,000. So what that does is airplanes devalue and then they start going up in value again because newer planes are increasing in value. So, um, I'd rather buy, something, a Corvette that's devaluated, a C8 that's not worth as much money as it was. In So the Lexus my wife has, we bought. I forget what year it was we bought it. It's a 2017 Lexus RX 450 hybrid. Love that car. Great car. I think it was like $62,000 new. We bought it for 35, and it was like 2 or 3 years old. So somebody lost like $27,000 on that car for driving it for the first 3 years for putting 55,000 miles on it. We put 55,000 miles on it for 35,000, and we could still sell it for just about 35,000 today. So, like as far as purchase price, it would cost us nothing for owning that car and putting, you know, almost 45,000 miles on it. So I think there's a sweet spot in buying a car. Buying a new car is never the smartest idea. I've done it twice. Oh well, we all have to do it once. It's a little bit of a vanity thing. It feels good. Uh, so airplanes. My airplane going nearly 200 miles an hour will get about 30 miles to a gallon. So I'll burn. If you do the math, I'm not going to do it, but I'll do just under 200 miles an hour, burning just over 7 gallons an hour. Let's just say 7.5 gallons an hour. Burn depends on altitude a lot. One Car Fast says sell the Lexus. Lexus is my wife's car. I do have a 2007 Envoy still, so we're a not quite a four car family. My daughter is driving my mother-in-law's car. My mother-in-law passed. She had a Mini Cooper, and my daughter's driving that. So yeah, my I like the Lexus. I have Lexus. Oh my gosh, that car at 100 miles an hour. Genesis Coupe at 100 miles an hour is great firm sports car feel. The Lexus at 100 miles an hour is like a luxury car at 30 miles an hour. Unbelievable. Whew. And oh, I have the Comma AI self-driving. So, uh, future for cars. I'm kind of looking at getting a used Tahoe with and putting the Comma AI system in it because I do like the self-driving. The other car that I'm interested in that's more realistic, Crumpy has one, is either the Kia Stinger or the Genesis GV70. Both are the same car. The GV70 is a little shorter. It has the 3.3 liter twin turbo car, and with like a piggyback chipset, you can do some pretty high horsepower on that. So Goonbeam says he has an '09 Tahoe. Nah, I want something newer because it needs the lane keep assist and adaptive cruise control to run the Comma AI system. So that's basically the Comma AI is total hands-free driving. It looks at your eyes to make sure you're looking out the front windshield. Like if you look like that, it'll beep and want to turn off. So yeah, I'm probably looking at like a Comma AI system is go to comma.ai is the website. I think it's 3K, comma 3. I think the comma 3 is 2K, $2,000, and with like a $400 wiring harness. There's is BV Luminous asking Goonbeam? So yeah, I think 2020 Tahoe, 2019 Tahoe is about as old as I can get to do what I want with it. I would want the four-wheel drive. I like the idea. My Envoy has full four-wheel drive on a full truck chassis. I kind of like that idea. Okay, Snoring Rich seems to know something about airplanes. He says even on your climb. So here's the interesting thing. It's flying an airplane and going to altitude is just like a car truck going over a hill. Uh, so you're burning extra gas to get to the top of the hill. When you're on the plateau, you're burning a normal amount of gas, and then on the way down on the coast, you're making up the difference. So it all should average out to just that flat line driving. So, um, no 2x4 PPV out in small department, South Florida Chief Director. I'm not sure what that means. get a Toyota Tacoma, and that's something I've been thinking about. I kind of like owning an American car because somebody's gonna. I'm sure the Toyota Tacoma sold in the U.S. is built in Kentucky or something like that. So yeah, the reason I'm interested in the Kia Stinger or the GV70 Genesis GV70, one, performance, you can do a whole lot. It's a twin turbo V6. It's a 3.3 liter. The other is it would work with the Comma AI system and do the self driving. So I kind of like that idea. So that's me shooting the breeze. Like I said, if you think all of us on YouTube have these great, fantastic lives, whoop, this way. Just remember, we all got one of these in the backyard. It's a metaphor for the crap that's wrong in your life. Uh, and there's things I just don't want to talk about in public chat. If you guys ever want to talk crap, hit me up on an email. I'll call you with my Google Voice number or something like that. We'll talk. But yeah, we all have, as good as any of our lives look. There's oh, I got to how do I this way? I got to lean that way. That's all right. Now I get it right. My wife forbid me to dance or sing because I have no coordination. With headwinds, tailwinds, just to complicate things. Yeah. So when I was working in Monroe, Louisiana, which is where Duck Dynasty was filmed, I didn't realize it at the time. I would fly from there to Fox 45, which is an airport, like straight line. It's, I don't know, 10 or 15 miles away from me. Um, I would fly, it would be a 5 hour flight. Here, I'd go up to like 10,000 feet, typically somewhere around that altitude to fly here because typically you get a tailwind. Occasionally, I got a 50 knot tailwind, which made it a 4 hour flight, which is woohoo, cool. So I burn 20% less fuel. Typically on the way back, I'd go back at like 5,000 feet. So I'm not in the headwinds because typically the winds go west to east. And believe it or not, I find this interesting. There is friction with the ground that slows down the wind. So trees, of course, are friction. Here's the wild thing. I'm 10 miles from the shore, like where my house is straight line 10 miles from the ocean, but there's almost never a breeze here. And between trees and whatever else goes on with how convection works in Florida, I don't know. But on Long Island, no matter where you were on the island, there always seemed to be a breeze. So if there was a little bit, this this is almost getting to be intolerable hanging out here in the shade out by the pool. So I really need like one of those $15,000 fans that I won't pay for because I'm too cheap over the pool area, just stirring up some air because it's just nasty. Richie had a mullet in the 80s. Do you want to see my yearbook picture? All right, let's go in the house. I got to make sure. Oh, I won't hang this up. I'm going to go in GoPros in great GoPros in great numbers create friction as well. All right, I made it out of the chair. That chair's partially broken. You didn't see that, did you? Oh, did I hang up on you? Do you guys still hear me? Do you guys still hear me? Do you hear me now? I just heard a ding on my headset. So yeah, my wife went to get her nails done, took the dog. So there's nobody that loves me in the house. Good audio. Mo Better Prince. I could show you AUG stuff. So let's see. Oh my gosh, it's cool in here. That's Fluffy Bunny Arsenal. How's it going, man? All right. Where is? Oh, here it is. High school yearbook. Oh, QL. You guys are gonna laugh. I'm almost nervous. GH. Uh-oh, stuff fell out. Oh my gosh! Oh god, I gotta go. Dude. Uh-oh. That's me. 1983. All sorts of stuff's fallen out of this yearbook. Let's see. Here's a prom picture. It's like looking at Muppet Babies. All right, I'm going to show you one more picture. What a stud! Oh God. Actually, here's a picture I love. I got to get this like whoop, duplicated. I was probably 4 or 5 years old. We had a pet duck, and I don't know if you can tell. I'm squeezing that duck into an hourglass shape, and that duck should shoot my face off. What about the data group you work for based off your? Oh, I don't work for them. I just that's a free T-shirt I got at a convention. So let's show you the org. And oh, did I put the org here? Oh, my print's done. I gotta do another print. So I'm printing a case for the org in my Uncool Team Uncool. Where'd I put it? All right. So here's the org receiver. Oh, I got to get used to the org bolt carrier. These things go together. The barrel would go here. There's another portion of the receiver. And then that would go together in one of these. So I got to do work to get these things to put together. So I was hoping to do that today. Don't have barrels. So yeah, that's the toys I'm playing with. Uh-oh, I leaned. It's funny. So these are the ultimate ears. Crumpy recommended them. But the case, if you squeeze the case, it like hits buttons on it. So what are you guys? And let's see, Rich looks like Rudolph. Rudolph the Mantooth? What? Rich looks like Rudolph Mantooth from the TV show Mercy. Huh. I'll have to look that up. So it's an AUG mag, not a NATO mag, which kind of stinks. What are they doing for the AR conversion barrels? All right, so if you want an AR free to barrel, I can't say the last part of the website on YouTube, but it's 3D Print Freedom. So 3D Print Freedom is selling barrels for 150 bucks. So yeah, that's what goes into here. All right, let's put this up because it's annoying me. Uh-oh, my chair rolled over. So this falls down on a regular basis. Got to put some fresh spit on the suction cup. And now it's back. So, what better prints? I got a barrel turbo finish. I may take it to work and turn it. Yeah, I did come into a barrel that I have a lot of questions about. But I'm not even counting that. So I ordered barrels for myself and Walter Keller from Safety Harbor Firearms. And we're going to be working on stuff. So guys, with all that, if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to hit on them. Otherwise, I think I'm going to tune out, and I got to set another print to run, and I want to start working on the AUGs. So that's going to be my next fun. I have this P90 barrel. I was hoping you knew the mods. I was thinking of giving it a go on my hobby mill P90 barrel. Where's my I got a PS90 over here. I'd love to SBR that and get the short barrel for it. That'd be stupid cool. Alrighty, guys. I'm gonna drop. Good Sunday to y'all. Oh! My wife told me I gotta let you know to one. We saw the Jesus Revolution last night. Cool movie. And like any sap about this type of stuff, I was bawling my eyes out, overwhelmed. And what is it? It's The Chosen on Netflix, and it's like The Chosen has a website. So first two seasons are on Netflix. All of the seasons are on, I think, thechosen.com. Wow. I mean, I was raised Lutheran, and it really, and I'm gonna, this is only gonna come out wrong. This is only gonna sound wrong, and I apologize for the way it's gonna sound. The While I grew up Lutheran, believed in God, believed in Jesus, the whole shooting match, Jesus seemed a little more believable than Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying it's something you believe because people told you about it. Um, but what's funny is watching The Chosen made all of the characters in the Bible seem very human. So it really, puts a lot of meat on the bone as far as those stories go. So I highly recommend, if you have Netflix, or even if you don't have Netflix, I think it's thechosen.com, and you can watch everything for free. So really, really a good watch. I mean, really interesting stuff. And hey, thanks for being out there. Thanks for watching. And Stargate was the best show. Oh gosh, I'll have to tell you about Stargate another time. Santa Claus isn't real. Thanks for ruining the week. Still need to get into the series. Yeah, yeah, definitely. The Chosen. Woo! Wow. Alrighty, guys. Thanks a lot.